video 3 starting here. This is the third video of our weekly review of tickers on 5/27. POWL Industries, okay, what do they do? Cut rates and raise rates? Put up dish. I beat you to it, Brad. Looks like it wants to break out. Buying dips makes sense. If you're long, just trail your stops, I guess. This red thing you see on my screen is bearish, and it doesn't get negated until they close above 211. So be careful starting longs here if you're not a good, if you don't have good stops. As an investor, I wouldn't be all in. I would much rather buy the dip into 170. I'm not saying short it, but it's vulnerable. How about we say vulnerable from here to here? This way we won't piss off anybody and we express our opinion technically. It's vulnerable. PROSY. Very strange stickers we have today. Okay, so this is interesting. The net income is like 4 times the sales. Awesome. That makes total sense. I don't know what to say. Are you investing or trading? The chart's not going to help you with anything here. Fix the P&L first. Explain to me that first, and then we'll talk charts. This is not an obvious entry point on PROSY. What is this? Engages provision different technology platform. Anyone? Explanation? How this happens? Three years in a row. Bottom line, way bigger than the sales. They've discovered how to make money out of thin air. Awesome. PSTG, Pure Storage. I would imagine with all this AI stuff, these guys would benefit. Earnings in 2 days. Chart's not going to help you. Coin flip reaction to the earnings. Not because is the P&L going to be good or bad. It's about what people expect from the P&L. We've had excellent companies report unbelievable reports, and the stock falls 10, 15, 20%. Just doesn't make sense. So 2 days, coin flip. Qualcomm, excellent company, into the moon. It makes sense, but not an obvious entry point. Could I say that again one more time? This is not an obvious point of entry. Buying dips, yes. Where? Anywhere. And the stock market dips, this one will dip. Probably will hold up better than the stock market. It's got good fundamentals. Qualcomm. The Qs, I will have a special video on that. It's nothing more than what I said this morning about the SPY. You got to be careful because the Qs have momentum, and they have 6 stocks that can take it wherever they want to, regardless of what quote the market does. So respect the bulls. Okay, they may set another high. Watch the RSP for quote the market, or watch the IWM. I still think the real battle in the market is inside the IWM, which as we speak is up 0.5%. I'm watching the RTY, which is the futures contract. So they are doing better than the flattish green ES. So we're having some movement. So from last week, the RUT is looking like it can break out. So respect the power of the QQQ. That's where all, quote, the AI excitement lives. RCL, I spoke to a lot of people that like to cruise, and they still like to cruise. So this is a lot of love for the stock, to be honest. I mean, business is back to normal as far as bookings, but the debts and all of that haven't. So I fail to see why investors love it so much. Be careful. It's in open air, so there's nothing to short. I just don't think it's an entry point for an investment. Trading wise, there's probably plenty to trade. A lot of buyers into 144 or lower, so you have definite support. You have another opportunity to break out for another high at 151. So if you're holding calls, I get it. Just make sure you're trading. Funny. ROKU. This does not get love from Wall Street anymore. Remember when ROKU was one of the beloved ones? And God help them if they lose 55-ish. I don't know how low it goes. 42, 38? In a series of lower lows and lower highs. It used to be for me, sell a put in ROKU blindly on every dip. I don't know about that anymore. It's just pretty dangerous the way it's acting here, so be careful. RTY, I don't know what you... I just spoke about it. I will have a whole video later tonight on that one. So this is not the RTY. When you send in a request for a futures contract, most often my machine doesn't pick up on it. So here's the RTY, the small caps. You have sellers everywhere above you and buyers everywhere below you. A weak point down to 2020 or 2030 and a catalyst above 2130. So if the bulls, what have I said on the small caps? They need to break out soon, otherwise they're going to suffer tremendously. And it's at a higher time frame. So on a higher time frame, you do have the bulls need to break out. You can't hang around here too long and consolidate this long without suffering consequences. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It's easier to track on the IWM. Whoops. It's heavier volume as well. So Shopify, like ROKU, almost the same price action. Good company, good business, decent P&L, not awesome P&L, just decent P&L. And you can see how it's struggling to hold. Wow, scary stuff. If they lose it, they're probably going to come down to 48. Now, I'm long this via a credit put spread. And when I took the credit put spread, I said that that's the case, that it's probably going to get tested. And because the downside from that collapse up top is still not reached. So it needs help from the market itself. So be careful. If the small caps are strong, then ROKU will rise. I don't know. Schlumberger, they just lost a really important support. Whoa, scary stuff. I would not be long this stock. I don't know how low it goes. They need to bounce back to 48.50. If better yet, 49.50. Until then, you're in danger of going to 44 and 42 in a series of lower lows and lower highs. Plenty of support below, and they're probably going to use all of it. Silver, I'm short. The minute I went short, silver had the biggest day ever. A huge day. I'm back to being a little bit down versus a lot of bit down, so I'm still holding my short, and I haven't added to it. I want to see if it gets to 27 before it comes back to 29. If it does, then it probably gets to 26 as well, maybe even 25.50. So it's an exciting trade that doesn't cost a lot of money, so I'm still in it. SMCI, this is a perfect example of a huge report that doesn't get well received by Wall Street. Growing 200% in sales apparently doesn't impress these people. So I had rally into resistance, curl back down, and see if you can get to this target. Well, they rallied into resistance once and failed twice. Let's see what happens. Are they going to fail? And if they do, they probably end up here. Easy catalyst on the way up. If the market is green this week, 975 will get you to 1100. P&L is good. Business is good. Not sure why it's not at the moon like all the other ones that deserve or don't deserve it. SMH, well, what goes on with NVIDIA now goes on with the SMH. Not, you can trade it. How about you can use it to hedge? If you're short the market and you want to hedge, I'm short the RUT, the heaviest. So I am, quote, short the market, but very little with the SPX and nothing with the NDX except for what I shared last week, first one, and a bunch of RUTs. Say I'm short the market, this would be a decent hedge. It's in open air, so the bulls have complete control. If I'm wanting to be bullish, I would buy dips. Snowflake, P&L is okay. Report was not well received clearly. At first it was, but then something spooked people. So what did it do? It gave you confirmation of where the sellers are. So check this guy out right here. Check this guy out right in the middle of that circle, and look at where we died, right here. And I would argue that there's a seller here as well. So now you have support and backup support. You're stuck. You can sell a put spread, which we did last week. You can sell a call spread if you want to, which we didn't. Decent company, I'll buy dips. SOFI, decent company, I'll buy dips. Did I buy this dip? I don't think so. Not in my portfolio, at least. It is buyable, but again, I worry about this catastrophe in the U.S. consumer. We have extremely high debt, record debt, and rates are not falling like people said they would lower rates. So we'll see what happens. What if consumer spending falls? I don't know how these guys will get affected. I honestly don't know exactly their business. Do they issue non-secured loans? Do they consolidate non-secured loans like that other one, Upstart? The SPY, I will have a special video for it. You guys don't need to ask for it here. I started with the SPY. Square, good company to catch a falling knife in usually. Trades with Bitcoin. So I want to remind everybody, Square and PayPal, for the longest time, trade with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is at an all-time high, not an all-time high, is at the recent highs. So if it retraces, if Bitcoin has a bad jag of 6 months, this one will fall for 6 months. That's what happened before. Okay, so there is a problem there with Square. The stock, 72 area plus or minus is huge resistance, and you do have support at 62, but it's not huge. So be careful with that. Okay. Skyworks, 4G, right? 5G company. Look at the seller zone above. Whoo-wee. Talk about overhead supply, as they say in Wall Street. Huge resistance and definite supports here. So you're stuck in the middle. I wouldn't buy shares. I wouldn't buy calls. If they pay a dividend, maybe, but I just don't see why. Maybe it's like a Verizon type of a trade. Once it gets to a certain level, you buy it for the dividend. I honestly don't know if they pay a dividend. So let's go look. They do pay a dividend. So see if it's attractive for you and what are the alternatives that pay you that kind of dividend. Remember that the government will pay you 6% or 5% for a short-term bond. So that's the quote. Oh my God, dang it. I mean, how stupid is the human being, or this human being, I should say, with banging the same boom arm because it's low profile. You forget it's there, and I move my hand and boom. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, this is not risk-free. The government bond is considered no risk. TC, is this 10 cent? Yeah, I am not touching 10 cent. I get less abuse sparring at the gym, correct? This is a short. If you're short 10 cents, good for you. Hang on to it. It's going down to hell. Not trading 10 cent. Why would you trade? It's like headline from government, China this, US that, and the chart is hideous. Okay, take out 52, you go to 62. But you're probably going to go to 42 first. Target. The dip, there was just nothing great to do, but we did, I think, a credit put spread on the dip. Good company, decent result, just people expected more. And if you think about it, look at it. You got a low, you got a high, we're right in the middle. So short term, you've got a roof above you that I don't think it can cross in a long time. This area here. I think it's relegated to stay. Markets at our all-time highs. If this is top-ish for the market, this one is buried for the long time with all these highs stuck above. Hopefully you didn't buy it up there. Support zone, yes, everywhere below. And I mean everywhere. So I'm going to say that this was a mistake. So this should be a floor. And so this was definitely support. And this area is catchable. Anywhere in here, I think target would be a bargain. Tesla. Tom says it's going to 250 or 225 in July or something. Anyway, your target is 189. You take out 189, you can challenge this area of interest up there. 189 is your first problem. So get to 189 and break it before you lose 166. If you lose 166, you're going to 149. Those are my previews on it. Meanwhile, if you're trading Tesla and you don't know how to read charts, good luck. Good luck. You need a lot of luck. Shorter term to see if any 168, 185. Taiwan Semi, excellent company. I said let's short it for a little bit cautiously, recognizing it's an excellent company. The trade went green, then red, and I did not look at it on Friday, so I don't know where we stand. Did I sell a call spread? Did I buy a put, or both? I can't remember what I did. But I know I'm bearish on it just from a chart perspective. That's it. And it's one of the great P&Ls. Look at it. Bulletproof P&L. Absolutely bulletproof P&L. Excellent management. So nothing against the company at all. TWLO. Don't short TSM unless you're just shorting the chart. TWLO, you have a big box. You better not lose the bottom end. You lose the bottom end, it's probably going to 53, even though it has a lot of buyers at 56. Okay? And I don't think it can break out through 66 for a long time. Hell, I don't think it's going to go above 63 for a long time. If it does, the catalyst may get you back to 68. Exit. Uber. I shorted it, I think. Yes, but not recently. And I'm bearish on the chart. I was bearish on the chart. I said sellers. The sellers showed up inside the seller box. And they're still there. And I think this box, half of it is sellers as well. So if I go here and I'll put lines, this most likely is resistance. So which is easier, break through that or lose the support here? I think it's easier to come to here, which is 60, than to go to R. So if it rallies into the letter R, exit your longs, try to short it to come back down to here. God dang it. I just want to stop. I just want to stop. This is how annoying this is. How many times can I munch on the microphone in one morning? Let me put some duct tape on my arm that I can't move it. Uber, good company. Okay place to start longs and chart in investment. Trading wise, it's not great. ULTA, same comments as Lulu, was it? Good company, good P&L, earnings are coming here. So whatever I tell you now is not going to matter. It's going to react to the earnings. Whether good or bad, we don't know how they're going to react. So I would imagine that a lot of the expectations have been baked out of the stock because it's fallen from the top down to here. So support at 330 eventually. I will read the earnings options, but if I remember correctly, they don't have a lot of action in the options. So I probably wouldn't do anything except to try and sell some risk, like if you know how to sell an iron butterfly, just to take advantage for the implied volatility. Other than that, just wait for the reaction after the market reacts to it and then trade that. If it's a dip, I would buy the dip, definitely. UNG, boy, did I miss that one. I wanted to go long when it was at the bottom, and I suggested to people live to buy the shares. And if they did, they made a lot of money. I personally missed out on it. Up here, it wasn't a good starting point. This is a crazy ticker. If you don't know charts and you don't have a good risk appetite, stay away from this guy. It's just very difficult to trade natural gas. Even the futures traders have a hard time with it. It looks like 1750 and 1850 is a pivotal zone. So if you want to mark that, 1850 and 1750. So let's see what they do inside this zone. Valero, oil company, I'm not in love with those. At one point we did this. When I put this color box, it means it's pivotal zone and they lost it, and now they're trying to get back into it and they're failing. So if this week they stay below 162 or 160, it's bearish, and they're probably going to lose 152. And if they do that, they go to 140. I'm not saying short the company. I'm just saying what the levels are that are important. Okay, so get back into this box, recover this neckline, and that's resistance. So I'm going to say R here still. So we could drift, and this is potentially doable. Potentially doable. So be careful. I would not hold calls in Valero. If I'm holding shares, I'm not panicking. I'm not adding, but I'm not panicking. VSCO. It looks like it's impossible to get out of 23, but if you do, you get the 25.50, exit. This is terminal, but if it's not, exit here. Otherwise, there should be support inside of here. Workday. I'm saying here and here, I'm assuming you're watching this at home. And if you're not, just get home and watch it. Workday, they reported. Okay, so I would have caught that knife on Friday. Too bad. I missed it. I will read the earnings report and see what they said. Arguably, I would say that this drop is all about $45 from the top, which is looked at. Target is 217. Once they lost this guy, the head and shoulders measurement is down to here, and they are in that area, 220 to 215. And it's a base. I would go long into that base unless the sales report, the report says something different. So if you guys watched it and can explain it, I think it's a good place to start longs. Too bad I wasn't working Friday on charts. I would have sold puts in it to own shares. WULF. Don't know what they do. I don't do penny stocks. Anything under $5 is not for me. You have a buyer into 180 and a buyer into 160 and a bunch of sellers above 230. So ping pong the range until you break through one of those ranges. Exxon, same comments as Valero. Exxon and Chevron have excellent managements. I think one of them is outshining the other one now, which is pretty strange. All right, so check this out. They had a battle zone here and it became resistance. They had a battle zone here and it's become resistance. And the breakout was down here. And look at this area, that yellow circle, you see that? From back 2023 October, it was a big problem and now they're trying to hold it. I think they are tracking $6 of downside. So 111 to 110 at least. So I think this target is going to end in here. I think that's the target in a series of lower lows and lower highs. So what I predict that either they go down to it or they rally like this. XPO. They better hold 104. So I put R and they hit R and failed, and they failed to recover again. And if they don't come back and beat 116, which I doubt they can, actually check that. There's nothing but sellers above. So this, the only statement, if you better hold 104. If you don't, you're going down to like 93. Okay. Zoom. I think we traded the dip. No, that's the earnings thing. Stuck in the middle. Huge reaction from earnings, which is good. I like it when they do that. What you can do is you can draw a box. You can draw a box and make it turquoise, because that is the box for a long time. All right. And ping pong. Seller credit put spread, seller credit call spread. And don't expect anything much outside that box for a long time. It's a good company, so hold it if you own it. Scale into it if you want to own it. Zscaler is a crazy company, crazy stock. This white line could happen, but it just needs a market-wide move. A lot of support below, like a lot of support below. And we traded often, and this is a bunch of support down here. Wide support zone. So I would not hold a put, but I definitely wouldn't hold a call unless I'm trading a breakout. Down here, if you bought calls into this prior support, if you sold the put spread and bought call and call spreads, outstanding. I'm going to add it to my trade watch list because it is a momentum trade, and if somebody wants to buy a call here, they have the opportunity to gain. So, yep, doable. But it's a trade. As an investment, you might find better opportunities. Maybe nibble on the investment. And with that, we have a day. I did stream this to YouTube. Didn't have many people there, but it was fun. Bye, YouTube. I'll see you next time, maybe. If you're not members, belong. And folks here, I appreciate you for being here. Enjoy your day off. Yeah, Bitcoin passed 70 today. All right. People always are surprised with that. Okay, and now the small caps are taking off. 0.6%, up $11. So we're up $1 on the IWM. Okay, folks, I gotta run. I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. I will post those videos. I will have a strategy video tonight